get a lot of questions from you guys, and one of our favorite things to do is to answer them because we've been there. We know what this feels like. So this week we were contacted by a nurse named Diane. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Diane.
She is nursing. First of all, thank you for what you're doing. One of all of our heroes for sure.
Yeah.
But Diane is actually looking to move from the healthcare industry into the home staging industry. She's in the process of starting up her business, and in an ironic turn of events, Erin and I have both left healthcare education careers. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist, and Erin is a sign language interpreter. We've both made that transition into the world of home staging and design. So, Diane, you can do it. We're rooting for you. And today we decided that we would answer all of your questions. We have them right here. So we're just going to check down the Diane list. Erin, Diane's first question for us is, how long did it take for us to see profits?
Okay, so this is a very, we followed kind of a very specific formula that we also created as we went along. But now looking back, it made beautiful sense, and it can also help other stagers. We started out by renting furniture from another stager in our community. There was a very, very large multi-million-dollar furniture company within our community, and they would rent two stagers into the community at a flat rate per room. So we would rent from them in the beginning and charge a small markup. And we would charge for our moving fees, and then that monthly renewal, that small markup, that small margin of profit grew, and we put that into savings. We saved that money. And then with each staging job, we reinvested those profits into a room.
Yeah, so we've sort of slowly made the transition. We used those profits to acquire pieces for a room for the next staging job. So now, instead of renting 3 rooms, a living room, a dining room, and a kitchen from the furniture company, now we're renting a living room and a dining room. Now we've used the profits from our last job to acquire our kitchen, our kitchenette, and our kitchen accessories. And we just proceeded to build that way, and it worked beautifully.
It did. So yeah, we added one room at a time, and that's kind of our philosophy. We didn't want to spend a bunch of capital out of pocket. We didn't want to spend $10,000 of our own money to buy a full household of furniture. Instead, we did it piece by piece by piece. And we tapped into our resources, right? Like we use the Facebook Marketplace to buy wood furnishings. You can buy a nice kitchenette table. And if you're into repurposing things, or, you talk to people within your community who do repurposing, that's a huge trend right now. You can find pieces that are nice and decent quality. And once you kind of decide your style and your taste, start acquiring those pieces. And then once you have one room, then you can still rent to people at the same prices. But instead of paying that flat rate to that furniture store, you're paying that monthly rate per room to yourself.
Right.
And over time, we were able to get an entire household of furniture, right?
Right.
So then once you have a full household of furniture and you install it into somebody's home, that entire check is yours to keep. So it was at that point that we started taking paychecks. And then we were able to reinvest a small portion into our next house of inventory while also getting paid.
Right. And Erin, how long do you remember, how long do you think it took from our starting point? And you have to keep in mind too, we've never been doing this full time. This has always been kind of a part-time job for us.
Yes.
How long do you think it took?
Yeah, so by choice,
taking profit check.
Right. So we were very deliberate in our business model that neither one of us wanted or could work full time. I couldn't because I had I have a preschooler
Right.
and school part-time. So I was only available to work Monday through Friday until 8 till about lunchtime. So if you went full on and full in, you could probably start turning profits faster than we did, but that wasn't what we were looking for, and
Right.
we don't want to work full time. So I would say, we were still bringing in paychecks in the beginning, but things really took off when we started honing in on our own trade accounts. And when we got our trade accounts and we were able to buy wholesale furnishings, then
Right.
we could do a lot more with our inventory. We could buy much higher end inventory that really conveys that look of money that we're trying to convey to our clients.
Right.
And there was a period of time. So in the beginning, when we were, kind of putting pieces together and buying bit by bit by bit by bit, and putting it, there, we were still bringing home paychecks. We could make decent money in a quick install, even when we were renting from the local furniture store. But the real money came when we started actually buying all of our own inventory. And then there was about a 6-month lull where we had purchased inventory and we had to wait for those monthly renewals to come in to pay off that credit card. But once we had, it's all profit. And it's, yeah.
Speaking of furniture, that brings us to another question that Diane is asking us, which is, how can you negotiate discounts at your major furniture and local furniture stores? Ask.
Right.
Just ask.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been easier for us to work with the small local independent furniture stores. It never hurts to ask for a discount, and if you're willing to bring repeat business back, most people are not going to say no
Right.
to some sort of discount. I think it's been our
Yeah.
experience.
And that goes back to social media, right? Like if you are working with another small business, another local business, and you say, listen, we have, I mean, at this point we have 10,000 followers on our social media. And if we say, hey, if we will tag you in our photos, and we'll do our best to promote you, as well as, use your furnishings in our, in our designs. And we have actually been approached by quite a few homeowners who wanted to buy the furnishings from us. So we have been able to negotiate sales on behalf of the furniture stores who we've rented from. So that's also kind of a nice added bonus. It doesn't happen every time. And a lot of times people are kind of looking for yard sale prices. So they're a little bit shocked when we charge them retail. But when that does come to fruition, it's good. Everybody comes out happy. So it's helpful.
Okay, next question. Did you have any issues with clients damaging property? And if so, what was the outcome? Have we had never intentionally? No.
So this kind of goes back to our contract. And guys, we have a really, really good contract. We have we consulted with an attorney, and we covered our tails in every way that we could. And that's actually available to you if you are interested in purchasing our contract template, and then you can modify it to suit your own needs. Drop a link below, drop a comment below, and click on the link below, and we can send it to you. And it's comprehensive. It covers everything from, if our stuff gets damaged, here's how it's going to be, here's how you pay for it. You have to have insurance, and you have to prove to us that you have homeowners insurance. There's no smoking allowed with our inventory inside a house. There's no pest treatments allowed. We covered every possible avenue that we could to make sure that we would be compensated if any of our stuff got damaged.
Mm-hmm. And we have had things get damaged on moving trucks. But those companies, their insurance covers the replacement costs. Lamps
Yeah.
get broke all the time. We do have stuff get broke, but
Yeah.
you're right, Erin. Our contract is tight, and it really protects us from. People are respectful, too. Mostly people are respectful. I don't think we really run into trouble with that.
We haven't, I think the most damage is caused from movers, just, grubby hands on white, inventory, white upholstery. It happens.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. We use a lot of slip covered stuff for that reason specifically. So we can pull off the slip covers and wash them if they get stained. But no, typically we don't, because we don't allow pets to be in the home, and we don't put our furnishings in occupied homes. And we're clear about that in our contract. So I think if you
right, there's nobody lives on our inventory. We only put our inventory into homes where after families have moved out.
Right.
So there's no using it. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't be wise for you. Definitely not. Okay, let's see what else. Diane has asked us, have you ever had a client reach out to you and the house is not up to your standards for putting your furniture in? Did you decline the offer to stage it? And if so, how?
So we have encountered a couple of situations where there was a tremendous amount of construction going on, and that's part of our contract, is that there can't be any construction happening during while it's staged, because drywall dust and dust from plaster that's being sanded goes into your upholstery and it never comes out. So that's part of the negotiations beforehand, is we say it needs to be cleaned, and you need to be done with all of the renovations before we go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's been another situation too. I think that's kind of interesting. Of course, our interest is in staging homes, right? There's been an occasion or two that we've gone into a home and realized that the best situation for the seller would be to invest their money in some maintenance sorts of things, like some simple repairs that need to be done to the home, or perhaps fresh paint and carpet cleaning. And there's been a situation or two where we've actually said, we would love to stage for you. We think that your money's going to be best spent at this point investing in the maintenance that needs to be done here. So, give that some consideration, maybe do that first. And if you want to stage after that, give us a call. We would love to do it for you. But at the end of the day, as much as we want the job, we're also interested in our clients having ultimately success in selling their homes. Us moving, furniture into a home that needs a tremendous amount of work nobody's winning in that situation. So we've turned away jobs for that.
We have, and that speaks to integrity, right? Like on one side we're like, well, that's not helping us as salespeople. We want them to rent our furniture, but like, if our stuff gets ruined because it's in a filthy house, or it gets some sort of like awful like bug infestation, that's not going to help us in the long run. If we lose $10,000 worth of inventory because we stuck it in a house to make $2,000 because we got some sort of awful like bug infestation, then that's not helping us. What does help us is being honest with our clients about where they spend their money and putting their money into the things that are actually going to sell their houses, and a fresh coat of paint and having floors refinished and things like that definitely cuts into their staging budget. But being honest with them about that on the front end, I think we always find that like showing integrity always benefits us in the long run, even if it stings a little bit at that moment. It's about honesty. So we have turned away. Yeah. Like honesty, like it always wins in the long run. So it's been, we have turned away a couple of jobs when that situation arises, but it's always better for us. And the realtor sees that, right? And then she remembers like, oh yeah, these girls are good stuff. Like they're going to steer us in the right direction. And the realtor is not oblivious. They're aware when the client contacts us and say, hey, will you stage our house? And the realtor's thinking, staging would be nice, but like, God knows you need a coat of paint on these walls. And then we get to have those difficult conversations with them and say, listen, here's how much we would charge you to stage your house, but we think that it would be a better investment for you to spend it on paint. Then the realtor's going, oh, thank you so much. Because they wanted to hear, they wanted the client to hear that from someone other than themselves.
Right. And we're really all working together. We all have the same vested interests. We all want the house to sell. So, we might not get the job in that case, but, hopefully they think of us the next time. Yeah, they will.
Exactly.
Well, and they do have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So last question then for Diane is, she asks, how many before and after pics do you think is standard for a startup business?
That's funny. We've had this discussion lots of times. We have, because I'm like, let's show them all of our pictures. Let's take 50 pictures and put them all on our website.
Right. And my take on that was always, rather than put it all up, let's show them, 4 or 5 of the photos of our very best work. We've done both, by the way. We've done both.
We have, but now that you kind of taught me that philosophy, and it makes so much more sense. Like, it's better to show quality over quantity, right? So, the before and after, we usually only do a handful of those, but in terms of the things that we put on our websites, to put 5 or 6 of your best shots. And then the MLS is going to feature other photos, like full shots of the entire room that are taken by professional photographers. But as far as we're concerned, for the stuff that we use for our social media, just a handful of your best work is better than, 3 dozen of different angles of the same sofa,
Yeah, and people's attention spans are short for social media, right? If you've only got, 2 to 3 seconds of somebody's attention as they're scrolling through social media, you want what they see to be your biggest and your best work. I never click on galleries. It's just too many. 30 pictures, it's just too much. I'm not going to do it. I pass right by. But that said, I love before and after photos. It's like those TV shows that we used to watch. I love the before and afters. I feel like people love before and afters.
Yeah.
So it's a great idea to post side by side before and afters. And actually, Erin, you post those for us all the time, and I love when you do that. I think it's people's favorite stuff, to see a transformation, and that's exciting, and that's it's a powerful way to show your followers and your clients, current clients, potential clients, what you're capable of, and the power of staging, right?
Yeah.
How powerful it is to take an empty space and make it into this beautiful, functional, cozy, awesome room. Man, it sells itself.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it shows the efficacy of your work. So yeah, I think it's a great tool, but yeah, there's no need for, a lot, 1 or 2 or 5, or not even 5, take 5 before and afters and then spread them out over a couple of weeks of your social media posts.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yeah, that's something else that Jenny has taught me, because I'll take pictures of the house and I'll be so excited about it. And then I want to post them all on Instagram. And then I'm like, the next day I got nothing to show you. I'm sorry.
I love your enthusiasm, Erin, but it does work good to spread it out, right? Because on those days when you just want to get a post up, you don't have anything, from the last couple of days, anything new in terms of photography, you've still got a whole archive of things that are really relevant and interesting and fun. And
yeah, totally. Guys, if you guys have other questions, we are listening. Drop your questions in the comments below. Click on the link and send us an email and get on our email list. We have tons of resources to share with you, and we want to hear from you. So if there are topics that you want us to cover, if there are roadblocks that you're finding in your home staging business, we want you to send us your questions, and we'll go over them. We'll cover them. We appreciate you taking the time to watch our channel.
Thanks for watching.